What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris, as always with me,
Liam.
super slow. And today we are talking about Handmaid's Tale Season 2, Episode 5. If you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you're coming back to us, welcome back. We are a show about shows. We are definitely not experts on anything, but we do get some things right. Your help in the comments, we actually have a lot of fun discussing it, whether we get it right or wrong. And so the like button's how you let us know if you like what we're doing. Subscribe to keep joining us on this journey and never miss a video we drop. And the comments is how you can engage with us. But I'm going to keep this one short today, and we're going to talk about what I thought, controversial, was the most boring episode yet.
Yeah, so we were talking about this right before we started recording, and I had the same issue with it where during the episode, what happened for me was I would realize I picked up my phone to go scroll or something like that, and I'm like, fuck, gotta put it down. And I did that quite a few times. And in discussing that, I'm not sure whether it's actually boring or I brought up right before we started, if it was just because it was so relatable and emotionally painful that we had to check out.
So for debate, let's talk about it. So for me, I also found myself multiple times during this episode being like, oh crap, I'm on my phone. I shouldn't be on my phone right now. I should be looking at the screen and paying attention to what's going on. The biggest thing I noticed that was like immediate in the episode for me that I was noticing in real time is there's no inner monologue. June's gone right now. And I think that was like the biggest tune out for me, is that now I'm having to just watch, and she does an amazing job of it, her actually like portray and act, and like I have to figure these things out, what she's thinking and feeling, rather than June just turning on and telling me things. And I've said it since the very first time I've watched the very first episode in season 6 with you guys. One of my favorite parts of this show is her inner monologue, is her talking to herself. And since they officially turned it off last episode and we had none of it this episode, I think that was one of the reasons why I struggled with this. For me personally, this episode was just like the thing I liked the most was not there.
Well, when she's on the walk with Serena's doing all the talking. He's like, look, this is for both of us. I can't be the only one attempting to hold down this conversation here.
Yeah, I couldn't help but kind of like snicker to myself in that moment, because Serena got exactly what she wanted.
And she's not happy.
And she's not happy. No, she got her to come to heel and be a good girl and do what she said. But at the same time, the thing that she enjoyed about her was that she was intelligent and could talk to her.
Same thing with Fred.
And she took that away now. So now she's like, she can't have it. It was, for me, I smiled because I was like, ha, you got your little just dessert there. Like the thing you wanted is not the thing you thought you wanted.
Yeah, but at the expense of Fred.
Yeah.
She is completely destroyed right now where we're at talking about in the episode. Later on, it's not until she realizes that the baby is practically indestructible at this moment that gives her hope and kind of snaps her right back out of this shit where she's like back to full-on resistance. And that's the part that I really liked about it. I'm glad we didn't get her down and out for too long, because this was emotionally devastating to watch for me, especially. We've about how watching this series and going through it the way we have and discussing it so heavily has taken a toll on both of us emotionally.
Yeah, for sure.
It's got me down all the time now.
Well, I counterbalance it, right? And I think that's what needs to happen for me. If I was just in the dark world of Gilead all the time and it's all we talked about and it's all we did, that to me would be hell. Like that would just be like this. There's got to be something else we could talk about that's nicer than this. But we do, right? We talk about Foundation. We talk about Institute, which the Institute's Stephen King, so it's not much nicer.
No, that's pretty dark too.
But then I also I play Daggerheart. I play Dungeons & Dragons. You play Call of Duty. Like we have our hobbies, our things that bring us joy that we do, that bring light. But yeah, if all we had to do was focus on Gilead 24/7, I would be in a very dark place all the time.
So another theme of the episode is she's bleeding all the time.
Yeah, having some complications with this pregnancy.
Yes, they want you to believe that she has either lost a kid or on the verge of losing a kid the whole episode long. But towards the end, as we saw, we were good. But you mentioned the whole thing about Nick and finding her and not realizing how she got outside. I can't recall either whether it's something I tuned out as well.
Yeah.
Did they show how she went outside or what?
Yeah, so to my recollection, because I actually, before we started, I'm like, did I miss something? Like, was I that tuned out on this episode that like I just missed this whole thing? But you were like, no, I don't remember it either. So let us know down in the comments. Definitely chime in on this one because we have a gap. So she's sitting on the windowsill in her room, kind of just head against the window, arms down, kind of like surrendered. That's when we see her last.
And then Nick's downstairs with Fred.
Right, we cut to the scenes with the two couples now, and they're like like talking to each other, and Serena's talking to
Don't worry, we'll get back to the wedding soon.
Eden, right? The new character.
I believe so. It takes me a little bit to
I believe her name is
locking
Eden.
names.
Yeah, is being coached through her first time with Serena, and then Fred's kind of being nice to his face, but also us as the audience know he's like giving him the jab at the same time, being like, "Oh yeah, I couldn't let all your hard work go unanswered." Meanwhile, he knows he's getting him off the board because he's very jealous of anyone getting to have time with Fred June, which was an interesting dynamic we got to see very, very blatantly in this episode. Is just how jealous Fred is. Very jealous man.
That was sparked by Serena, though.
Yeah.
He's doing it to keep his wife happy.
Well, I don't think that's the only reason. I
think that's why she worded it the way she did.
Yeah.
Was to make him jealous because she knows him better than everyone else.
Well, I think if she were to word it in any other way, it would seem, one, like she's too curious about the situation, or two, like she's hiding something. And so she can't come across in either of those ways. So it's all about being, caring about Fred and make sure Fred's good.
Or make it seem that way.
It's all about you, Fred. Even though she's like stabbing it in there.
Yeah, well, we also have Nick going up to Serena and being like, look, you should get her checked out. There's something really wrong with her. And she's like, well, the doctor said everything. Maybe you need to bring her to a different type of doctor.
Yeah. And Serena's the only one Nick can go to with any kind of out-of-character level of care for June. And I think the only reason, there's two reasons he can get away with it. One, he's a male and he's in the army, right? The army faction of Gilead. So he answers to Andrew, not Fred, which even Fred, you kind of noticed that where they were talking in the hallway and he was like, nah, I'm going to keep that dude there. And he gaslit him too. He's like, it's for your benefit. You want to keep him there. But either way.
If I were you, I wouldn't let that man far away from me at all. He is going to be tied to your prosperity.
Yeah.
Hit him right in the ego there and ambition.
That was like a through line through this episode is people were in other people's agendas against them. It was pretty fun to watch because it's people in Gilead doing it to each other. So it's interesting to watch. It's not necessarily. And then the other side of that coin is we got to see the colonies again too, right? So we got to see Gilead kind of being corrupt and eating itself. And then we got to see actually a level of care and compassion for those who are actually seen to be less than human right now. So it's pretty cool dynamic to see both.
And we also got confirmation of a question that we had a while back. Emily was talking to Janine and she's like, they took your eye and they took my clit.
Yeah.
So they did confirm that part.
Yeah, well, we were interested to see, did they take away, because the way they word it is she says you can still have babies. And then based on the way that the bandages were sitting, and also everyone in the comments definitely helped us out with confirming that. But yeah, actual confirmation from her own mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the whole time this episode, she was completely against the wedding of those two women.
I think she was against hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she was against the wedding of the two women because she is still so hurt emotionally from what was done to her own trauma. And because you saw that from the moment that surgery happened, she was broken.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that we've seen June broken, we saw for a short period of time Moira as well, if you remember. So in this, the whole dynamic of Emily in the colonies is showing her journey from despair to accepting a little bit of joy and hope, which I was very grateful for. We need all that we can get for hope in this series, especially with what it does to us emotionally.
Yeah, I think Janine being a absolute representation of just pure innocence has rightfully so infected her in a good way, right? It rubbed off on her, not infected her, but actually rubbed off on her, right? Because she's like, I've just been trying to keep you alive, and all you keep doing is putting yourself in danger, just being the happy-go-lucky little girl.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's what keeps Janine alive, and it's nice to see that it's rubbing off on Emily and it's actually creating that level of care that is the counterbalance to what we're seeing happen inside of Gilead.
And at the beginning of the episode, we had Aunt Lydia doing her little checkups, height, weight, checking on the baby kind of stuff. She's talking to Serena. They're being a complete bitch about everything, right? She's feeling attacked, and Aunt Lydia's like, did I accidentally overstay my welcome kind of thing? And Serena's checking herself and being like, all right, fuck, I can't piss her off too much. You want some tissue? She's like, nah, I actually don't have time for that anymore.
Yeah, something that I picked up on in right before that scene, Aunt Lydia can write. She's allowed to write, which is Serena gives her like, how come you're writing? And Aunt Lydia's like, oh, it's special privileges for aunts here. Really, it's quite a burden, right? And I was like, oh, that to me was just even more proof in the category that Aunt Lydia is a very powerful figure. She has more rights, more power, like, than any other woman we've seen inside of Gilead. Like, she
talk back to men.
She runs shit.
Yeah.
But also, as you know, many people have mentioned in the comments too, like, I'm not the only one who is like fan favorite of Aunt Lydia. Like, she's a pretty predominant character and much loved, but not loved for like necessarily the reason of she is loving, loved for the reason of just the dynamics and the range that she has as a character. And then just, you know, she plays evil well, like she does.
Yes. So what did you think of that fucked up child wedding?
At this point with Gilead, it ain't that far off. Yeah, is it fucked up? Yeah, it's really fucked up. As soon as they unveiled them and we saw it, like some of those girls were 10, 12 years old, it looked like to me, like very young, not maybe just had their first period, right? And then they immediately have to consummate that marriage that night. Like, that's fucked up, sick shit. But
Nick kind of got saved by June being in trouble there.
Nick was very apprehensive to do it.
Well,
like, you could tell from the start that he was, he doesn't want anything to do with it because one, he's in love with June, and two, I don't think it feels right to him. You can tell he's very uncomfortable, acted very well.
He was staring at June the whole time during the wedding.
But then he saw that it was, what's her name? Sydney Sweeney in real life. I think that's her name. I don't know. She's in the headlines right now for some American Eagle ad she did where everyone's talking about it. But anyway, that's the only reason I really know her name right now. But she is an attractive woman. And so when he looked at her, he had like that sense of like, oh, she's actually kind of pretty. And then I don't know where his head went after that because he went back to something else. But like for a second when he unveiled her, he was like, oh, okay.
Yes.
I think we bounced around a lot, so maybe we did miss some things, but also let us know down in the comments, how was this episode for you guys going through it? I really struggled not like checking out, and that's hard. Like, that's different for me because normally I'm hanging on like every word, right? Like, I can usually repeat to you what they say, and in this episode I struggled with that, and we talked about it, and I would love to hear your opinion. I started off with the controversial, this was a boring episode, but at the same time, when we talked about it, we think it might be that it's just the level of emotion and pain that's in that episode makes us want to like tune out and not have to feel that and not have to want to be a part of it. Could be a piece of it too. Or it hits close to home with trauma on certain areas that it's like, hey, I don't want to experience this again kind of thing. Yeah. But it pushed the needle forward and gave us some information that was very crucial.
Yes.
And we got to see Janine bring hope, which I was very happy to see. And we got to see, I called it two wedding funeral is what I called it. Yeah. When we first sat down, the weddings were garbage, but the first wedding was garbage. The second wedding was a beautiful send off. And then obviously the funeral was their last bit of a glimpse of hope and respect and honor to that person. I forget her name. The one who passed away. I forget her name. They tell you her name because she says you're not going to give Kit, I think it was. Kit, I think it was Kit, medicine, and she's like, she doesn't want it. Save it for someone who can actually live.
They do that a lot in the colonies.
Makes sense.
And they're very self-sacrificing. I'm always surprised when I see situations like that and throughout history of how people who know they're literally being worked to death just don't take the easy way out and revolt, because at least that way they would have momentum in the right direction and a kind of a fuck you to the people controlling them.
Yeah. Have you ever read Man's Search for Meaning?
No.
It's a phenomenal book. And I mean, the through line is hope. And then obviously the setting is Holocaust Germany. So it's horrific, but it's what a philosophical book, like way to open up a man's mind and really understand the power of hope, the power of why, things we talk about all the time with other vets and things like that. So definitely I would check it out if you ever get a chance. But let us know what you guys thought of this episode. As I said before, this is going to be a short one, but we have plenty of other videos that we've checked out you can check out with us. There's a whole playlist of them right here, as well as some other stuff we're checking out right now. Like I mentioned earlier, we're doing Foundation, the Institute, and we got some other stuff coming up here very soon in the next month. I think Alien Earth drops next month. We got some other cool stuff that we're going to be doing.
Yep, I'm just looking forward to June becoming her resistance fire self again so that we can have a little more of that hope we were just talking about.
We just hit the halfway mark of the season, so I'm sure we're going to have a upswing before the cliffhanger to the third season. That's kind of how they've been doing things, so as long as they keep that momentum, we know we're in for some good stuff coming up.
And can't wait for that live call again, too, at the end of season 2.
Yeah, always good. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were, you've already come far.